What's up guys, Barry Gaming here, back with some more Idle Heroes, and today I wanted to go over something, and that is the monster pet system, just because I've seen so many mistakes by early players and I feel like they really need a little guidance. Granted, you see it everywhere on Reddit, but not everybody just goes to Reddit all the time to research every part of the game, so hopefully this quick video might be something that'll help guide people in the right direction when making decisions on both their first and their second pets. Once you get to the third, it's really about personal preference in my eyes. It's more for PvP, for Trial of the Champion, for World Arena, things like that. But so going over this first, I feel like there is the undisputed grand champion when it comes to first heroes or first pets. No matter if you're building your account only for PvP or for PvE, I feel like you need the Phoenix for Sealand, for Broken Spaces, for guild wars, guild bosses, and for Flame Shrine. It's just a must-have because the damage bonus is just absolutely ridiculously strong. So, the reason why the Phoenix is so good is it deals damage and leaves a dot. It also does a little bit of a heal, which is nice. Not a huge heal like the deer, because the heal works differently, but you do get a heal on 4 random allies. And the big difference is it increases 4 random allies 80% bonus damage against burning targets. So that's mainly the reason why you need a burning hero, even just like a 6-star Deathsworn. The reason is even though this says it deals an extra amount of damage, it leaves a burn for 3 rounds. The way the system works is when the Phoenix hits the target, one of those 3 buffs, 3 ticks, is initially hit. At the end of the round, another one ticks. So you start your next round, you're already lost 2 out of 3 of the damage ticks. Then at the end of the following round, it ticks a 3rd time and you lose the burning buff. So the burning buff only lasts 1 actual round for benefit. That is exactly why so many people say you need a Sigmund, you need a Deathsworn, something to keep that burn up, because this 80% doesn't disappear after those 3 rounds. This 80% is permanent. So if you're going a 15 round fight, you could get anywhere between like 240 and 320% bonus damage on your heroes. That's why when you see the Skerei Army, all the videos I'm doing, when you actually hit in those late rounds, you're getting such high bonuses, the damage numbers just go through the roof. So one thing to note, I'm gonna leave it down in the comments below, or in the description below. We do have a Phoenix guide, a burning Phoenix guide, why I use Deathsworn. If you are still uncertain on why you need a burning hero, go check that video out. This applies to the Phoenix, the Wolf, and the Snake. They all have this dot and buff based off of having a either burn, bleed, or poison on the target. They all need a support hero that will keep that buff up 100% of the time. So make sure you guys go check out that video. But it's not just this right here that makes the Phoenix so strong. It's these 2 numbers right here, 20% crit damage and 20% holy damage. Those are perfect for all-out offense, and that's what you're looking for in a pet. At least for PvE, Sealand, things like that, is you're trying to maximize your damage. While we're on the topic of the Phoenix, I will go over briefly the Wolf, which used to be the #1 PvE damage dealer. Wolf is identical to the Phoenix, except it doesn't have the heal portion of the active attack. And then you will be getting armor break and precision, which while are good, they are good offensive stats. They are just, they're much inferior to holy damage and crit damage. So that's the reason why not many people run Wolf anymore. If you see any old guides, everybody said pick Wolf because it used to be the best. But now having Deathsworn or Sigmund are just so much better synergy for your team as well. There aren't that many great bleed heroes anymore. The other one is the snake. Again, same exact type of active as the phoenix and the wolf, but again, no heal on that one as well. And you get skill damage and block. So that block is pretty much useless when it comes to PvE, at least for most people. You just want raw damage output. So that's why nobody really builds the snake or the wolf anymore, because the phoenix just has bonuses. It heals, it synergizes better, so that's the big reason why you will not see the wolf or the snake anymore. After you get done with your phoenix pet, there's pretty much what I think is two different options you can go for when building your second pet. And that is a competition between the deer pet and the dragon pet. Both are very good at PvP. I will say I feel like the deer has more usefulness in both PvP and tower. So what the deer does is attacks 4 random enemies and then restores 4 random allies 20% of HP. So that's not a flat number heal. That's if you have, like it used to be, Valkyrie was the biggest, tankiest hero you'd see. Her heals would be gigantic because they were percent of her total HP. So the bigger hitters you got, the more health you have, the more this heals for. It also increases your armor by 37%, so that's less damage you will be taking, and increases your attack by 15%. So this only lasts 2 rounds, so it's almost up about, probably about 66 to 100% of the time, depending on the actives and how they're coming out. Of course, the first couple rounds, you're not getting many bonuses, but this heal in PvP is absolutely amazing. And deer can do very well in certain tower levels, especially those 600 plus mim levels. If you have a Horus, throw in a deer, go in the back line, chances are eventually you'll beat that mim wave. When it comes to the bonuses here, so these two bonuses, you're going to be getting 20% armor, so just flat 20% more. So that stacks with the active, and 15% block. And I mean, on a pet like this, that's perfect, because the whole point of the deer is to become a tankier, more well-built team that can last longer rounds. So the deer is, I think, in my opinion, right now, the best PvP pet. So, I mean, if you are building just a strictly PvP account, you could go with the deer first, but that's going to severely hurt you when it comes to Seal Land. So I highly advise building Phoenix first and then transitioning over to the deer pet. And the other one that's a strong competition is the dragon, the Niederhog now. I love these new names. But he'll always be the dragon to us older players. So what he does is he does an active, and against, I think it's 4 random enemies, when he's maxed out, he has a 36% chance to stun them for 2 rounds. CC can be very, very strong, and the reason why this pet trumps and wins out over the other ones is because he has better passives. He gives crit and crit damage. So I think he gives 10% crit chance and 20% crit damage at max level. Those are very good for PvP. Obviously, the higher damage amount, the better. So he is a decent pet. I would actually recommend, if you're gonna go for PvE first, Phoenix, then build the deer for PvP, and then for your third pet, I think dragon is another solid choice. But along those lines there's other pets that also do the same thing as the dragon, and we'll go over those in just a minute. So when it comes to other pets that have CC or CC-like effects, you have ones like the fox, where there's a 40% chance to silence them. It does have an extra bonus where you can restore energy to your allies. That could be good. I've never really used the fox. I've seen the fox used on like early servers that had them from way back in the beginning, but overall, silence isn't necessarily the best, since so much damage comes from basic attacks nowadays. And of course, you get skill damage and precision. So those are pretty solid offensive damage dealing abilities. I could say the fox could be a decent third one to go for if you're looking for some interesting builds or you're trying to synergize with your team. But overall, not the best pet. And then you also have the the little frozen, I guess he's called Apparition now. And you have what we're building on the Petrify meme team, the Stone Golem. So they all have their bonuses. Of course, you get armor and precision from Stone Golem, not really a good combo, and you get holy damage and precision, so not too bad of offensive abilities from the apparition, but they're both subpar. They're just not really worth building in my opinion. The only reason why I'm building this is just for the memes for PvP. I mean, maybe in a niche if you're building this really weird frozen team, petrified team, silence team, maybe it's something you could do, but they're just low tier pets. And then you also have the Sphinx, the old griffin. He has holy damage and precision as well, so another good decent passive abilities. But the Sphinx gives speed, which is very interesting. I don't know if I'm a fan of it because you only get it after the active and it's only on 4 targets, so it's not great because usually by the actives your heroes are almost dead. Speed becomes less relevant. Speed's important the first couple rounds, so overall just not the best. So yeah, that kind of covers all the heroes, or all the pets, the monsters. Next we're gonna go over how to level your pets. So what I recommend is when you are first building your Phoenix, your deer, whichever one you pick, early game gold is going to be one of the biggest constraints on your account. But there's a few things you need to do. You need to get all of these maxed up as fast as possible. I would highly recommend maxing out the second and third nodes first because they give you the bonuses like crit damage, holy damage, that. So focus on these two first. You can then move over to the first tier and then work your way through the last. The last can be strong for PvP if that's what you want because it has that extra speed right there. But overall, definitely go for the second node, then the third node, and then you can choose from there. As far as level of the pet, most of the time, I'll say most of the time, stopping at level 120 is fine. Phoenix, you do get more crit or more damage bonus, things like that as you go higher, so it is worthwhile. If you are building a deer though, going past 120 barely changes this effect down here. It increases your armor, and I think that's it. Of course, the damage it does goes up as well, but that is not what your pet is there for. Once you get to 120 though, and you have all the monster auras maxed out, you unlock the Rune Enhancement system. So this one lets you pick one of 3 trees to start leveling. You can level them all together. I highly recommend leaving the speed rune as the last one as it's only relevant in PvP, not really necessary. I would recommend on most people's account going to try to max the HP rune first. HP and your team living is one of the most important things. Once you max out that HP rune, then you can transition over to the attack, or once you get to like 30, you can try to get attack up to 30 and then finish HP and then move to attack and then go to the speed rune. So overall, that's what you should do in my opinion when you get the free gold and of course the monster materials. Level the Phoenix up further. For deer though, going to 180 to me just feels like a complete waste. 120 is plenty until you're in the late game. But yeah, because you're getting so little bonuses by leveling the pet up. The damage goes up, yes, but it's not significant. The armor goes up, yes, but it's not significant either. But compared to the Phoenix, you'll get more and more bonus damage, which will make a difference. So I hope this kind of helped you guys clarify what pets you should go for. If you disagree with anything, as always, drop a comment below. Let me know what you think. I love having discussions. It's the best way to learn and figure out the best way to do anything in this game, in my opinion. So I hope you guys enjoy this. I hope it's helpful, at least a little bit, and I'll see you guys in the next one.